Hey toy fans, I'm D21Beast and welcome back to my figure review series here on my YouTube channel. And today we're taking a look at a new sort of toy for me, the Marvel Superhero Mashers line. And this time I've got Iceman. This is a figure that was released by Hasbro in 2014, and if you're not familiar with the Mashers, the concept is that you can pull the figure apart at their joints and reattach them with other figure parts and just kind of make your own hodgepodge superhero. So it's kind of a fun idea, kind of a creative idea from Hasbro. It is sort of a line that's intended for a younger audience, but now that it seems like they're hitting some X-Men characters, they'd already done Wolverine in the past, but now that it seems like they're hitting Iceman, they have a Deadpool coming out, it seems like they're hitting more X-Men characters, and that really means that I'm going to be interested in what this line is all about. So I thought I'd go ahead and pick up Iceman, and I'd like to review him for you here today. So let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at that packaging. As you come down the front of the box, you're immediately going to see the window box packaging that houses Iceman inside. You will see the name of the figure off to the right. And on the left-hand side, you do see an example of what it looks like if you get a bunch of these toys to make a big hodgepodge superhero. And finally, at the bottom, there's the Marvel Superhero Mashers logo. Flipping this package around now, as you come down the top, you have that Marvel Superhero Mashers logo again. You've got sort of a pun that Iceman's saying there. Chill out, there's plenty of me to go around. And then you have an image of Iceman with some mashed up parts. And on the right-hand side there, you do have some other figures available in this wave. Also, on the right-hand side of this package, you do have an image of Iceman, and on the left-hand side, you just have a continuation of that mashed-up superhero. Alright guys, well that's the packaging. Let's say we get Iceman out of the box and see what this guy is all about. Alright guys, here we have Iceman out of the box, and he looks pretty cool. He's kind of made of a translucent blue plastic to kind of highlight or emphasize his ice powers. And as we take a look at the sculpting, it's kind of hard to see since he doesn't have any actual paint work this time. But there's a lot of very geometric or very hard line angles on this figure. And the entire wave is like this. They're just sort of character stylized or dramatized figures, I guess you could say. But as we look around, he's just got very sharp angles on all of his muscles. He's got a lot of these ports on his arm that are for accessories that he might come with or other figures in the wave. But overall, he looks pretty cool. I'm especially a fan of the way his face looks. It's kind of hard to see, but I really like the way that that face sculpt came out. Moving on to accessories, we can see that Iceman does come with this sort of ice missile accessory. Now, what he can do is he can actually plug this into his hand right here. It just plugs in just like that. And you can make it look like Iceman is firing an ice blast, which is pretty cool. You can also just pull it out of this hand and put it in his fisted hand and make it look like Iceman's holding some sort of ice club or ice sword, which is a nice touch. Or there's even a peg on the side of the handle, so you could stick this on his back if you wanted to have him carrying it as some sort of holstered weapon. Or you could even stick it anywhere on his body that has one of these little notches in it. So if you wanted to stick it to Iceman's shin, why not? Have at it. There's just a lot of options with this figure and the way it's designed. Alright toy fans, so if you're completely unfamiliar with Mashers, here's how this toy line sort of works out. You could take two figures like we have here, Iceman on the left and Wolverine on the right, and let's say that you want to go ahead and change some parts out. Well, we can just take this Wolverine figure, pull off his arms, his feet, whatever you'd like, we'll even do the head, and you see the pieces just come off really easily. And then we could go to the Iceman, pull off all of his pieces, and it just comes apart pretty easily. You just give them light little tugs, and we can decide that we want to have Wolverine's head on Iceman's body, and it just pops right on. And then we're going to go ahead and take his arm here, that looks like it goes on this side, plug that in, and plug this one in, and plug this leg in, and then plug this leg in. And now we have sort of a mashed up superhero. So it's pretty fun, I guess, the options that you can do with this line. I mean, right now we've got Iceman wearing Wolverine's parts, but if I had a Spider-Man figure, I could put a Spider-Man mask on this guy. Let's go ahead and see if we can do something a little different. I think these figures even separate at the hips, so let's go ahead and pull these off. And we're going to go ahead and pull the legs off Wolverine. And there we go, they're just coming together. And why don't we go ahead and grab those Iceman feet that we took off before, and those should just go right back on here, and like this. And you can kind of get an idea for what these figures are all about. You'll obviously have more options as you have more figures available. Right now I've only got the Iceman and the Wolverine. But you can just sort of mix and match and make these heroes your own in really any way that you want to. So it's a very fun toy line, and I think it's a lot of fun for you guys to check out if you're a fan of these figures. Moving on to articulation, you can see that Iceman does have a head that'll turn a full 360 degrees. It does look up that far and down that far. He does have a shoulder rotation that turns a full 360 degrees, as well as a hinge that allows his arm to move up that far and down that far. There is no upper bicep swivel, but he does have a rotation at the elbow that's got a ratchet in it. He also has a single jointed elbow that'll move up that far and back that far. There's no wrist articulation, and the articulation is duplicated on the other side. There's no waist articulation of any sort, but there are some ball jointed hips that allow his leg to move forward that far and back that far. He also has a hinge so his leg can move out from the body that far. And he's got a single jointed knee that'll bend forward that far, bend back that far, and there's a 360-degree rotation at the knee that also has a ratchet in it. And that completes the articulation on this Iceman figure. Taking a look at the height now, we can see that Iceman does stand at right around 6 inches tall. For some size comparison, here we have Mashers Iceman, once again standing next to Mashers Wolverine. And here we have Marvel Mashers Iceman against Marvel Legends Iceman with some unfortunate paint rub. And here we have Mashers Iceman against Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine. Alright toy fans, well that's my review of the Marvel Superhero Mashers line Iceman figure released by Hasbro in 2014. And overall, I think this figure line is a lot of fun. It is directed towards a younger audience, but I think adult collectors are going to have a lot of fun with these guys too. They're just, the idea of interchanging these pieces, while it may seem gimmicky at first, once you get your hands on the toy and start messing around with it, it actually becomes a lot of fun. So they're great for all ages. Now, I'm a big fan of the X-Men figures they're starting to release. Wolverine and Iceman, of course. There's a Deadpool out there I need to track down. And if they do more X-Men figures, you can bet that I'll be picking those up too. So definitely give these figures a look, guys. There's so many different things you can do with these pieces. All of them are completely interchangeable. It's just a really fun idea for a toy line. Alright, well that's my review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to rate, share, and subscribe. Also be sure to hit me up on Twitter at D21Beast. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stop it! You're doing it all wrong!